All right, folks. So now we had a cat problem as well that I had to kick out. So that was primarily the cat problem. So anyway, again, I apologize, folks. I'm really trying my best here. That's the problem with doing all this from home and not a separate office somewhere. Is now we have these kind of family issues that we have to take care of. And again, I apologize. I really do apologize here. So we're gonna try to get on through this because she's pretty upset that she can't be sitting in here, but she also has a bedtime. So. Folks, we're going to get started with Project WeatherEye. This is our new project that SeeTheStorm.net kind of has been brewing up over like several months, and we've kind of recently solidified it. Um, this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, but the problem has always been technology. And are we on the right mic now? For crying out loud! Uh, the technology has been really rough to figure out. We've been able to kind of come up with some concepts that work and don't work, and I really think we found one that's going to work, at least for the initial build out, and then we're going to go ahead and continue out around that. But what's unique about what we're doing, folks, is we're trying to make this semi open source. I don't want to say that there's like industry secrets here, because there's really not. I mean, if anybody wants to do what we're doing and live stream something, they could go to Best Buy and buy a $200 refurb iPhone 8 or something. That was weird. I don't know why that did that. A $200 refurb iPhone 8, put it in a Tupperware, hot glue it to the lid, and staple it to somebody's deck and could live stream something. Um, right. So this isn't really a secret, but what we're trying to do here is promote the DIY, the maker community. There used to be this big maker community in kind of the storm chasing and the weather industry, and you're seeing it now with a lot of AI, right? So there's a lot of AI coming about, and oh god, we might actually be working on the right mic, but there's a lot of AI that's coming about right now, and people are using it to do things that they've wanted to do but haven't been able to do because maybe they just didn't know how to do it. And AI, folks, I've tried making stuff with AI and Grok and all that. It's not taken over the planet. Anybody who's used AI to build anything fully knows where I'm talking about. It's got a long ways to go. But what it can do is help teach you skills. And where I've used it basically to learn how to do things, right? So when it comes to enhancing streaming capabilities or software capabilities, it's been writing lines of code and then it not working, and you can put it into AI and be like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, this is my intention, is broken, why? And it'll pick it out, and instead of fixing it, it'll teach you what it is. So you can kind of, it's almost like having some sort of a development coach with you at all times that can kind of help you out a little bit. So that's a really cool thing, and where I'm going with this is that's not what this project's about, but we're starting to get that DIY and that maker community kind of back into the weather aspect, which is good. It's been gone for a long time, in my opinion. We used to have people doing science, and whether it was Reed launching his rockets or um, these researchers with their tornado probes and everything. It's still out there, but it's not super open source. And one of the things that I feel and my team feels is missing from this industry right now is there's this ability for folks to live stream. And yes, to do it properly and to have a good live stream, yeah, it takes some investment and some learning, but the ability is there. Like, people can do that now, and they can learn how to do this and make something out of it. It might take a few years to get going, but they will get going. And there's a big miss in this industry of ingenuity and innovation and building things, and of course audience interaction, and I'm trying to bring that back to everybody here. So what we're doing, this is not a Vince Welty production, this is not a SeeTheStorm.net production. This is a spin-off. This is a project that I've spearheaded. I am project manager. That is a self-given title. But this is kind of a transparent thing here. So we're going to be developing this hardware that can be live streaming, whether it's camera feeds or data feeds, out in the field, and you folks can build that along with us. We're publishing our build list. You guys can have a hand in this, or build along and build the same things we do, or apply it to your own concepts. For example, we have a follower who actually sent in some hardware, because this is all crowdfunded, and included a super super nice note with it. And it actually made my day, saying, this person is trying to do basically the same thing, but for security cameras. Um, and it basically goes hand in hand because it's essentially the same thing. And this person is buying off of our parts list. So we're going to get into this here, folks. This is a lot of housekeeping over the next 45 minutes to an hour. And I just want everyone to keep kind of an open mind that this is not necessarily um, a business in and of itself. It's more of a project that creators can tap into, if that makes sense. So, for example, we have folks that are associated with us, and they may be out chasing, or they may want to be involved in these field deployments. Well, they can do that with our hardware, and in fact, we're going to bring them into the live stream right here with me while we build this together. So we're going to talk about building hardware. We're going to talk about the server infrastructure and how you can kind of do this. Um, it's going to be pretty cool, folks. And keep in mind, this isn't just one piece of hardware that we're developing and then we're going to leave it. There's going to be, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different pieces of hardware that do different things. And it all kind of just comes together here. One type of severe weather event might get, hardware A, where a different type gets hardware D or something like that. So, you know, this is really something pretty cool, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I'm trying to watch the chat over here enough that I've been working on getting this home studio, if you want to call it that. We're working on it, in progress here. Let me go through the chat. I am going to say one thing though, and this is the only time I'm going to say it right now, folks. This is a Project WeatherEye production, and well, I'm not really speaking for myself here. I am speaking for those that have chosen to do this with me. Um, I want to make one thing very clear. We are not, and I say we, because there is a we, not tolerating stone throwing, dramatic messages, none of that. No pot stirring, no shit talking. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's somebody who shot your dog. We are not doing it on these live streams. Period. This is supposed to be about equality, and we're going to talk about equality here because there's a reason we chose parts and pricing on what we did, so that we're not really gatekeeping or locking people out of this that might want to participate. So this is supposed to be something that people can join in on and be part of, regardless of what somebody thinks of them, what they think of somebody, etc. And I don't know what's going on, but I saw some garbage over in the chat where people, trying to do this, and this isn't the place for it, folks. If that's all you have to do in life, then you need something significantly better to do. And I would suggest maybe you go out and find that, or build shit with us. And if you can find a better way to build it, let us know. Get on the live stream here and tell us what we can do better. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is not the place for it. So we're going to go through the website and kind of introduce everybody. So I have to figure out how to run this. That's not right. I can work with that. So this is our project website, projectweathereye.com, folks. This is a tornado. I don't know. I thought it looked cool. I had some people asked me in comments after the last live stream why I kept looping this tornado video. It's part of the website. Like, it's got nothing to do with. I think I gave people the impression it's got nothing to do with this. It's just part of the website. I mean, it's cool video. Like, you open it up, it's like, oh, that's cool, and it's black and white, so it must be important. I don't know. So anyway, we're at Project WeatherEye, and I want to mention here that on our website we've got our social media. So Facebook, that's my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, the Project WeatherEye Twitch, the Project WeatherEye X or Twitter, depending on what team you're on here. We are streaming on X, so we're gonna appease the algorithm and call it that, but it's still Twitter. And then we've got my YouTube over here, and we'll get into what social media is what here in just a moment. I do have an explainer reel, just about a minute long thing that kind of explains a little bit about what we do. You could scroll down here, and I do have an embedded Twitch stream, and we're going to talk about why we're doing the Twitch stream in a minute. But that's embedded on the website mainly because that's the only player that I can embed that the link doesn't change every time I start doing something. Folks, this is something that you guys get to be part of. You know, viewers, you make this project happen. That's 100% correct. We've got an Amazon list here that you can actually purchase from. That stuff comes to me. So we're going to talk about how to purchase for yourself in a minute. So if you're trying to purchase this equipment for yourself, don't buy it from this Amazon list, because buying it from this Amazon list sends it to my office doorstep. That's not what you want if you want it going to your house, and we'll talk about that in a second. And we do have build notes on this. But folks, again, this is kind of an open source thing, and this is a positive thing for the weather community. So if I don't understand why we've got the negativity in there anyway, but this is something positive because this can be applied to many, many, many different aspects, whether it's live streaming or data collection. And we're kind of open sourcing it a little bit. I don't know if open source is the right way to put it, but definitely making a springboard and kind of an interactive community for folks. Like I said, it's not going to just be me on these Project WeatherEye live streams. It's going to be several people. Hell, we could even bring you folks on if you guys are industry experts or you know something about what we're doing. We'd be happy to have you on, folks. We're not that formal here. There's nothing to be scared of. None of us bite that I know of anyway, and everybody's had their shots here. So you could actually go on this Amazon list and purchase some of these components. We put them on there as needed. Folks, there's huge support for this. We have literally burnt that entire Amazon list damn near out in 36 hours. So supporters, thank you. I've got some of the stuff over here. We'll go off on that here in a minute, and we'll thank the people that did that, and we'll talk about how we're going to integrate that. Folks, we'll talk about this here in a little bit. The Radar Omega integration. I think that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, it's links to Radar Omega, but that's a separate topic toward the end that doesn't really make sense to talk about until we get through how this stuff works. Because you're probably like, well, what the hell does Radar Omega have to do with a USB camera on a power bank? Well, we're going to talk about that. This is a link to my YouTube channel, and of course, to see the storm.net website. And look at this. This is probably the lamest, most boring merchandise you've ever seen, but trust me, folks, I worked 15 minutes on all of this. We've got a Project WeatherEye t-shirt that literally is a text box on a shirt. We got a sweatshirt that's literally a text box on a shirt. We got a die-cut sticker. This is a $50 t-shirt down here. This comes in multiple colors. It's super comfy. I only make like $5 profit on this. It's way too expensive, but it is super comfy. That's got a logo next to a text box. And of course, the sweatshirt with the logo and a text box. And of course, to go with our theme here, we have a sticker that is a text box. And you know what? People have been buying this stuff. So thanks for representing the brand, folks. That's really cool of you. I swear at some point I will make this better, but that I spent a whole 15 minutes on that. Mike the plumber, that was Mike the plumber's idea. Thanks, Mike. Couple housekeeping duties. We do have a project update thing here. I'll be updating this as we go along and build. You can go ahead and find this under build progress on our website. 15 minutes is a lot of work, Amar, trust me, especially at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But you can actually click on these. It's kind of blog post style. And you can sign up with an email address here. We don't spam you. We don't actually get a list. It's just a GoDaddy service. So we're not going to send you like unsolicited emails. But every time we post here, you'll get an email. I'll try to post every couple of days with updates and stream announcements and such. I put it up here. Parts list, folks. This is what's really cool. This is literally an open source thing. So as we build these projects together, we're going to include a parts list like this here for you folks to purchase along. So if you want to build right along with us, you can do that. We're not going to leave you hanging, leave you out to dry. You go ahead and purchase the stuff. You can either go back in the live stream if you're late to the party, or come into the chat and say, hey, we need to do this. Go back over it, help me out with this. We're working on potentially starting up the Discord community, kind of making a circle around this as well, but we'll work on that a little bit. Right now, we've only got one hardware list up because we've only finalized one, and that's our rapid deployment hardware. This is meant to be cheap, good enough, and semi-disposable. Couple reasons here. This costs, what is it, $395? Yeah, $395. So $395 here to purchase all the parts to make this stuff, plus whatever housing we decide to put it in. That's not finalized yet. But what I want to mention, folks, is I can't go and put $600 network cameras on here, $800 SDI cameras, HDMI to Ethernet adapters. I can't do that stuff, folks, because that eliminates the open sourceness of it. If you've got Tom, Dick, and Harry out there working at McDonald's that just want to do something that may pertain to this, they're not going to be able to go out and afford $2,500 worth of parts. They might be able to scrape by and get $395 for the parts. And honestly, folks, you know what? I wouldn't be against maybe doing a monthly thing. This was suggested by a viewer, and I actually really like it. Maybe in the future, we do a monthly thing where, if you're a channel member or if you're just a longtime supporter that we recognized in the chat and you're wanting to do this, maybe offer to send out a hardware kit. There's a lot we can do here, and it's not just cameras, it's weather stations. We've been talking behind the scenes about possibly interfacing, with like RM Young and Davis, Tempest, these types of things. There's a lot of cool things we can do. It's not just cameras, but we're starting with a focus on the cameras because that's kind of the bread and butter of everything we do. Uh, nice. Yeah, we're gonna get to all of your questions here in a second. I see lots of people asking about the parts, and it's literally coming right up. But folks, these Amazon links here take you directly to them. I try to keep this updated and then the approximate cost. So here is actually, I'm just gonna click on these individuals. So we're gonna start off with what each piece does for our rapid deployment hardware, okay? And then we're gonna talk about use cases and stuff. So we'll start with Orange Pi 5 Plus, which is a Linux board. You can get this in 16 or 8 gigabyte variants, as you can tell here. Either is fine. I prefer the 16, but based on parts and availability, you may have to get an 8 or from a different supplier. These are kind of hard to find on Amazon from time to time. It's like they only get small shipments of them, and then they're gone for a week, and then they come back. This is similar to a Raspberry Pi, which I actually have. This is a dead one. I blew this up mistakenly with the wrong power supply voltage like 4 years ago. This is an old Raspberry Pi 4, and essentially this is a little Linux computer, um, but it doesn't have a GPU or a graphics processing, so it doesn't do good with stream or video encoding, which is important. So I can't use this for what we're trying to do. But just a little tour of the board. There is a GPIO, so this is ground power in and out. So this is like serial connections. You can connect accessories and interface with that. Man, that fingernail is disgusting. On these pins here, there's an Ethernet port, a couple USBs, HDMI ports here, and USB-C power. This is very similar to the reason I'm showing you this is very similar to an Orange Pi. And I know the video is kind of chopping up a little bit here. I think we've got I do have a bandwidth setting that I've got screwed up, and I will work on that, folks, because that's really gonna irritate me beyond all belief. I'm actually gonna lower that down to 480p for right now, just to make that more stable, but we will fix that. Um, yeah, folks, your questions are about to be answered. Just hold on a minute. So this is the board that we're using. It's got a Rock Chip 3588. Those of you familiar with Box and that type of ecosystem, that this is what you want for that too. I don't use the Radsa, whatever it is, the Rock Pi 5A and 5B, because they don't seem to encode HEVC as well as the Orange Pi. And the Orange Pi also has these full-size HDMI inputs, so you don't have to deal with that micro HDMI stuff. This is probably the most expensive component. You could do this with a different Linux board, but I really recommend that one. You're going to also probably want a case or a housing, a metal housing that has a built-in thermal device, which is a fan that will come on and comes with heat sinks. And basically, your little board will go in this box and it's protected and it's got cutouts and the fan, it keeps it cool. That's optional. You could, 3D print your own, and we'll talk about that. I'm actually looking at investing in a 3D printer, and we can make our own files and stuff like that. We can all 3D print our own shit. That'd be pretty cool. So you don't want something like that. You could take like a piece of ABS plastic or honestly a piece of wood and just screw it into that. But you have to remember that the bottom of these, this is all open. So like if you were to short this out on metal, like I may or may not have done with this one, um, you're gonna kill it. So it has to be insulated and protected with something. But for $15 for the price, I recommend that just because it's cheap and it's easy. Unless you want to get creative, you can probably get very creative. There's a couple of options to power this, right? So this is a rapid deployment system in this case. So for these, we only need about 3 hours of battery life. At least 2 hours of battery life is what we demand. And we expect 2.5, but we're thrilled if we can get over 3. Well, I know you can't really see the whole thing, but it doesn't matter because I'm showing you it. For $35, you can get this Anchor power pack. Okay, it's 20,000 milliamp hours. And it does have a built-in cord, and it will plug directly into the Pi board, no matter what flavor you get. Probably Orange Pi would be preferred, like I said. We calculate about 3.5-ish hours of runtime at this, and we're going to go through the actual calculations. I probably need to get Evan on here. He literally is our electrical engineer, which means that he knows more about electricity and engineering than I do. But he told me my calculations were right, but we'll get him on here one of these nights, and he can tell us how important batteries and stuff are, if that makes sense for you. And again, sorry about the camera quality here. This is just that is very surprisingly poor. But we'll deal with that. I know what the problem is, but I have to restart the stream to do it. But this is a really nice unit because the Pi, not Raspberry Pi, the Orange Pi or whatever you're using, that is the only thing that's actually going to need to be um, powered directly. Holy smokes, man! This is just terrible quality, isn't it? Hold on a second. Weird. So we're gonna go with this camera. I don't know if it's a connection between the wireless camera and the computer or the computer and the cloud. Um, Folks, the other big hog of a battery is this giant Anchor power pack, 40,000 milliamp hours. That's a lot of milliamps. Let me find the Amazon list. There it is. 70 bucks. This thing's expensive, but we're going to be testing these out just to see how they do. Folks, we calculate about 7-ish hours of runtime with all the peripherals we'll have on here. And the reason we're using these instead of just like 7 amp hour like sealed lead acid batteries or those LiPo like wheelchair batteries, um, they're cheaper, they're easier, and they're a self-contained unit. We're not stepping up or stepping down voltage. Um, I really, I really do like that. I like that a lot. Hold on, I grabbed the wrong mouse. And again, I'm sorry about the piss poor quality on here, but man, oh man. Folks, you're going to need to go ahead and pick up an SD card as well. Now, this is a yes and a no thing. Now, when you buy these, we recommend it's $22 and you can find cheaper for sure, but these high endurance SanDisk ones I think are the best, honestly. Um, for the price because we want to keep the costs down for you folks as well, but these really aren't that expensive and they're for 256 gigs for a really high quality, fast 4K capable SD card. This is what you're going to want. And again, I no apologize for that quality. Holy smokes, we got to do something about that. But for the price, that's probably about as good as you're going to get. You don't want to go buy those cheap Walmart ones. They're known to go corrupt, and you're going to need that because on the Pi, we're going to have to load the operating system. We're also going to have somewhere to locally record footage that, in addition to stream it, but you're going to want somewhere to locally record it. And honestly, for the price, you might as well get that. This camera, which is out of arm's reach, but I have several of these. This is, they call it a low light USB camera. I don't know about low light. They claim it goes down to 0.001 lux. No, like I don't even think anything is going to go down to 0.001 lux. I mean, holy cow. But I will tell you that this camera does very well for a USB camera of its size and a sensor of its size. I am extremely impressed with this. And I'm glad because it's $55. It's a little pricey for some of you folks, but you have to remember too, we have to get something that's waterproof, and this options are limited. The other option is to run like an IP camera, a network camera, and then either RTSP that sucker into like FFmpeg or Nginx. I don't know if Nginx will do that. I think you have to go through FFmpeg and then go into Nginx, but we'll talk about that later. But all that stuff has to go through the pipes and get converted. It's just easier to use a UVC camera like this, which is the communication method of the camera to the computer. It's called UVC. Um, this isn't a bad camera at all. It's a 120-degree field of view. It is kind of a fisheye lens, but that's kind of what you want. You want to get as much of that sky as possible. But some of our more, I guess, higher quality instrumentation and deployment packs are going to have higher quality cameras. So this is something that I would use for, just getting started or semi-disposable, like rapid deployment type hardware, like what we're doing here. Because this stuff, we can't be investing thousands of dollars in this and then having it get lost in a tornado or something like that, right? Um, okay, the final item on here, this is optional. What? Oh, ChatGPT subscription. This is called an eMMC module. This is like a little solid state hard disk on a computer chip, and it clicks into the board on the Orange Pi. This is essentially like your hard disk. So you can get better performance out of these by putting the operating system and all of its associations, software, all that stuff, scripts, all that onto the eMMC. But you still want that SD card because you want to be able to hot swap that. So you're going to want to set the local recording to that SD card, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But for the price, guys, if you're building one of these, I highly recommend it because it does speed things up. There's a faster read-write speed off of these eMMCs than there is off the SD card, and I have noticed that it doesn't seem to get as hot, so the the thermal's better, for sure. Okay, so folks, what we're going to do here now, I'm going to open up a deployment scenario. I kind of explain to you visually what we're doing with this. And then we're actually going to go through our operations plan. So, folks, again, what's happening right now, I've got good internet, but for some reason, I've got this set to um, like cap out at a certain bit rate, and it's being goofy here. So we'll work our way through this, but this is obviously not to scale. I mean, clearly, folks, we have a ginormous supercell that's taking up like half of the Texas Panhandle here. This is not to scale. This is actually the Tuscaloosa tornado supercell. It was the only one that I could find on Google that had there was a PNG with a transparent background. I totally made this in 15 minutes too. Not to scale, folks. But this is a random area in the Texas Panhandle. So let's say that we've got a tornado, and we're using a super, super, super dumbed down example, right? We've got a tornado, it's already in progress, okay? It's already in progress. We've got a mobile unit here. You can see the thing coming. It's obvious. We have folks not on the ground that are able to give a vector of the storm, right? So a speed and direction. So they say it's going all, maybe what would you call this, like 75 degrees, and it's moving, I don't know, 30 knots, or 30 miles an hour, whatever the hell that is. Um, and it's moving, and we can, kind of guess here that the tornado path has a little bit of an error margin, right? So we can guess it's between these two white lines with the red text. So it's pretty safe to say we could drop a camera, live streaming camera, right here and right here in the amount of time that we had. So that's assuming that we had two on board. If we had more, great, but we can actually deploy on these as the storm moves off to the east, and then position typically where you would with a mobile unit. Now, I mean, mobile unit's obviously not going to be in the middle of an F5 wedge, but you can still be pretty damn close. But you can use that mobile unit to kind of finesse the shot that you want to get, and do what you need to do with it. Just, basically as a storm chaser, how you normally would act. I keep looking at the wrong camera. The monitor I'm looking at's above me, so I apologize for the break in eye contact. But as the storm approaches, folks, we assume it's a long track tornado, so we go ahead and we space these out because it looks like a healthy storm. So space them out a little bit. We stagger them, but we got one on this north-south road and one at this intersection. That also makes for easy retrieval, and that's important because we might have to retrieve these, pack them up, and move them somewhere else if it's a failure, right? Um, so let me advance the scenario here. This is totally like fifth grade level PowerPoint stuff, but hey man, it works. So this is our continued scenario, and this is assuming that the tornado crossed or basically traversed the anticipated path. So I've replaced in this graphic the anticipated path with error margin with just a line, which is basically the observed path where it actually, went. It's almost never a straight line in real life. In our fictional scenario, it is because I'm not good with graphics. Again, I made this in like 5 minutes. I, you can probably tell because I forgot to delete the shadows. But so here's our observed tornado path. That would put us here that we had a near hit on one of our cameras, camera A. We had a near hit. I would still call it a success. It likely got footage of the tornado. We had a confirmed hit at Highway 83 and whatever county road or farm road this is. That was a confirmed hit. And now at this point, the tornado's past the road, so it's safe for whoever's in this car to proceed, pick up this camera, go over here, drop south, pick up this camera, and then book ass back east. Now, the reason that we didn't just ditch these cameras to pick them up later, look at where this storm is going, and I picked the screenshot for a reason. This storm's going into no man's land. There's not much for roads. Yeah, there's a road to intercept on up here, but there ain't much else. You already got the shot, you already got the data. Go back, collect them. It's moving 30, 35 knots. Well, this isn't very far. You might be able to catch up with it, or there could be another storm on its heels, right? So we're going to go and retrieve these cameras as fast as possible, no dilly-dallying, and then race up here to the north and then go east and try to get back out ahead of this, because by that time, this tornado is going to be safely clear to the north of whatever east-west road this is that I'm highlighting with the cursor. So it'd be perfectly safe to transverse this road. So, we have to have safety in mind and not doing something stupid like getting hit by, you know, the Batesville F4. You can't do that stuff. We got to be smart and strategic about this. That's why we've got an operations plan that we adhere to with this. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that operations plan here in just this 1 second here, and then I'm going to get to questions because this is going to explain a lot of how we operate. Hold on, I've got like a million screenshots because every time I've gone to explain something, I've just taken a screenshot. So this is actually there is some legal stuff in here, but I'm going to try to get to what parts. Okay, so I want to go ahead and show you guys how this project operates internally, so you guys have the full picture of how something like this works, because that's part of what's cool about this. It's not just building, it's the logistics. It's like you guys want to see, I assume, how this actually works, because there's a lot you don't see on the surface. This back end stuff, you're going to see all of it. So, folks, we have a project manager. That's me. I'm managing the project. We have a manager on duty. Now, these people below me might actually change based on the day and availability. In fact, technically, if it's going to be like a duration, if I'm on vacation for a week, we may have a temporary project manager too. But we have a manager on duty based on availability and skill set. And underneath them, there's a nowcaster and a PIO, or a public information officer. Now we'll start with the nowcaster. These guys are on the same level and probably are somewhat cross-trained in each other's jobs to a point. But the nowcaster, also underneath the nowcaster as an assistant nowcaster, which is kind of optional, but is kind of a redundancy thing. It helps spread out workload. We want to reduce fatigue. We don't want our volunteers and part-time staff to be overworked, underpaid kind of thing. I mean, the underpaid thing is real, but we don't want to, we don't want to cause them stress, right? So we also, underneath them, we have our field personnel. So they would report up the chain. Well, that field personnel for the time being is probably going to be me, Aiden, Evan, Keenan, and probably Tom, maybe Mike and Dan. I don't know. So that's kind of how that's going to work. So, I may wear two hats for the time being, as field personnel and project manager. So I'm going to have to adhere to this command structure anyway, for good measure. But under our public, and we'll talk about roles in a minute, but under our public information officer, we have a lead stream chat moderator. And then these folks, they're in the chat right now. They got a wrench icon and they are kicking ass, taking names, being the best in the business here. The chat, social, and Discord moderators, folks, they're super, super important. They may be at the bottom of the food chain here, but that's just a command structure thing. It's not that they're the most underappreciated or anything. They're really kind of the forward face of what we're doing here. And you'll notice as we go down in this command chain, so the bottom of the command chain, that's really the forward face, or what you guys see. That's the storm front, the store front. Those are the people you see out there busting ass doing work, but there's still these people above them that are behind the scenes that are doing just as much work. So remember, this is a group project, folks. So here we're going to talk a little bit about the command structure, and then we're going to go ahead and start answering questions and talk about real life scenarios we might be deploying these types of cameras. So this is kind of a day by day kind of thing here, folks. So we had the project manager, me. That's our top of the food chain, basically. I oversee the operation. We're going to ensure the roles are functioning and provide strategic direction, because I know everything. That was a joke. Manager on duty. So you may hear them on the radio, because we're actually going to open up and broadcast on a separate Discord channel our radio comms if you just want to listen to radio comms. Not our admin comms, but like this kind of operational comms. So you'll hear them on the radio's call center under operations, and they're going to report directly to the project manager with basically what's going on. They're essentially, the store manager, right? So they're the guy or girl making sure that everybody's got what they need. I would say that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, but folks, we have some of the best people behind the scenes, and you guys all know them because they've been in the chat. These people that have been moderating the chat are 99% of this project. But these folks, it's not to make sure they're doing what they're doing, it's to make sure they have what they need. Because when you are leading something like this and making a healthy work environment, it's important to provide people what they need, because they're not going to be able to succeed anything unless they have what they need. I don't know what they're going to need. If they need a potty break, well, fine, give them a potty break. So, things like that. Responsibilities, this is going to be just one person for an entire event. It may actually get broken down into two if we have simultaneous events in different target areas with deployments going on, though. And basically, they just monitor the team members. They fill in if somebody's got a personal emergency. That's like code word for bathroom break. Kids screaming at the door. And they're going to be the primary contact for storm reports and emergency calls on the radio. So, for example, if we've got a tornado on the ground, they're going to be the ones that are reporting that first to local law enforcement so that they can get it out, set off their storm sirens and stuff, and then immediately after that, it's going to be the Weather Service office for that area, unless the report's already been submitted by somebody else, which honestly most of the time it has. And they just keep tabs on team coordination, communication, all that. Our nowcasters here, and you'll hear them call sign of radar and just radar 2. They report to the MOD, which is the equal level of the PIO. And basically, they support the field personnel with weather updates as it's happening. So they basically stay current on weather alerts, SPC discussions, meteorological data, etc. And really, the important part is they answer the urgent storm vector queries. With speed and miles per hour, compass motion, compass direction in cardinal directions like northwest or west or east, or degrees. 90 degrees, 120 degrees, whatever, if possible. Sometimes we don't have that available. Sometimes it's in the warning text. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you got to pat track it out. But they basically help the field personnel assess what storm to be on and where to deploy these assets. The storm vector query is very, very important for these folks on the ground because that's used to judge, hey, do we have time to drop south and deploy a camera here? No, we don't. We got to go east and then south, or scrap it all together, take a different storm, or just scrap it entirely, and move east and come in from a different direction, whatever. That's really important. You typically that's up until now, it's typically been Evan. You've probably heard Keenan and Aiden on there as well, but obviously, like we have several people that are capable of doing this, and the same thing for like the assistant nowcaster. They're really on the same level. It's just a polite way of saying the other one. So our public information officer, you'll hear them on the radio as PIO. They basically manage social media stuff, right? So like screen recording, clipping, sharing of stream components. They're going to monitor social media for requests or questions and relay them to whoever needs them. So for example, if the Weather Service tweets back, hey, do you have a time stamp on the tornado that just occurred? Then they can, if the PIO doesn't have the answer, they can get hold of the nowcaster or the MOD or the field personnel, whoever has an answer to that, and then provide that information. So it prevents everybody from rushing to do the same thing, and it keeps people that are driving, it keeps their eyes on the road, their eyes in the sky, and make sure that nobody's getting hurt out here and everybody's doing this. So, we all want to go home at the end of the day, but we all want to have a lot of fun with what we're doing, right? So that's kind of where that comes into play. We're gonna have a lead stream chat moderator. They may or may not be on the radio, but basically they're just kind of the go-to for the rest of the mods for that day. If anybody has a question, or hey, should we be off topic on this? Can we bend the rules for this? That kind of thing. Can we get some links put in the chat? Stuff like that. And then of course our chat and Discord moderators, um, folks. They keep the chat moving. They keep the porn bots out of the chat, which is a thing. You get these spam bots and the Nigerian prince, wants to give you $5 million. We got to keep that out of the chat. So that's where they come in as well. They're the ones with the wrench. Oh, so here's some funnies. You guys may like this. These are kind of some cutaways here. Now, I have insurance for this. My insurance company knows, and my insurance agent actually watches these streams and is a channel member. My insurance agent knows exactly what we're doing here, and I've been given specific instructions and wording to include in my operational plan here. We have a safety officer. You may hear them on the call sign of SO on the radio, and they report to the senior field personnel member. And if person's not available, they're upside down in a ditch. They're going to go ahead and go to the MOD. Folks, word for word, their responsibility. Quote: "This is a requirement of our insurance on major events. Their job is to hold clipboard and ensure no safety hazards are present. If so, call them out. If not, stay seated." I, this hold clipboard and ensure no safety hazards are present. That's supposed to be funny, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna nix this one because somebody's gonna throw a fit about that. So here's our communications plan. Basically, we have two radio channels that we're going to use. We have a main channel basically for coordinating of activities, and then a secondary channel for like non-important stuff that we really don't want everybody being tied up for. We do have backup communications, UHF simplex. We do have UHF ham, but the reason we can't be using ham radio simplex frequencies for this is because this is technically kind of a commercial project with commercial gain, so we do have to have licensed UHF simplex frequencies and stuff. And also there's dead zones, so LTE doesn't always work. And here's our fallback. This is the last bit of humor in this document. Here's our fallback option. So if all that fails, we're going to fall back to Discord for communications. And if that fails, we're going to use phone numbers, SMS, text messages. Now, folks, this is pretty redundant. If all like 5 of those methods have failed, well, we're screwed, right? So last resort, if all else fails, we're going to consider aborting operations and calling it a day because at this point, something way above our control is wrong, and hopefully we all wake up tomorrow. The end. Questions? I sorry, that was funny. Um, I made a joke. See, it's good to have lighthearted conversation in here too. Uh, let's go over. No, Brady, there's nothing abbreviated CAT, but if you want, I will totally come up with an acronym for you. You can actually be the clipboard. You could be the clipboard holder. Your job could be locating places to eat because you seem to be very well suited at finding places that serve fried chicken, crispy crunch chicken. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and just vote that Brady is like our honorary dinner location finder. Maybe. Does that make sense? Now sound is delayed. You gotta be kidding me, right? Location finder. Oh my God, what is going on here? Hold on a sec. Yeah, well, we'll cross our fingers here and hope to God this works, right? So I don't know why sound is like that. Yeah, well, we'll fingers here and hope to God this works, right? So I don't know why sound is like that. Yeah, so we'll just have unsynced sound again. I apologize so much for this. So I'm using Restream in the built-in browser studio. It's not working super good. Maybe we should have stuck with StreamYard. It's just not, this WebRTC is not doing it. Let's see here. Oh, I need to explain the social media a little bit. So we do have a Twitch channel as well. Folks, there may be other folks streaming with this, right? So like we've got Aiden, right? So I use him as an example because he lives like an hour from me. Up by Dan in the land of Fond du Lac, whatever that is. Um, no, I'm not streaming on cellular. We have like 100 megabit up, 200 megabit down internet. Just it's a system limitation. It sucks, but it's fine. We'll work through it. But I use Aiden as an example because he's out chasing quite a bit. If he's out chasing and wants to be involved in this, we can pipe his stream into this as well. If something happens and I stop streaming, I don't want to sit there and have him streaming on my YouTube channel and just taking all of his basically what could be his ad revenue, right? So that Twitch account is going to be for anything Project WeatherEye, anything. Project WeatherEye on Twitch and the Project WeatherEye X account. If Project WeatherEye's live, it's going to be there. If I'm live, if we're just ranting and raving about how good the chicken strips were at the Love's gas station or something else, if it's got nothing to do with Project WeatherEye, you'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, or I'm sorry, Facebook, X, um, and Storm Chaser as well as a YouTube channel. If it has anything to do with Project WeatherEye, we're going to add in the Twitch stream. And the main reason for that Twitch stream, I can embed it on the site like this. So if you go to the site, it's just right there. So if Project WeatherEye is live, go to the site. You will know. That's basically an easy way of doing that. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not really trying to like build up the Twitch side of things. I'm just trying to have it as an option. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna probably go ahead and answer some questions. Then we'll talk about how we integrate into other things here. Do you get paid for footage you send events? Well, Sue, you're not going to be sending me any footage. I mean, if you want to like tweet me something or Facebook me something and we're streaming something like this, I mean, yeah, chances are I probably will look at it. I don't have a way to monetize for you. But if you want to build one of these devices and stuff, your best bet would be to monetize it on your own. Start a YouTube channel and and use this hardware, and we'll work with you on ways to do that. So I can't really monetize you, but I can probably help you monetize yourself, if that makes sense. No, yeah, we could use this in a duration. In fact, that's one of our use cases, planting multiple of these cameras in the path of a just epic shelf cloud, epic derecho, something like that would be a perfect application for this, 100%. That is the easiest application because you almost can't fail. We'll use these whether it's tornadoes, blizzards, just pretty storms. It doesn't have to be, a god level, emergency type storm like that. It can just be something pretty. Eric, holy cow, man! I haven't seen you for a while. Well, it's been a couple months. Um, it's been a few months. Thanks for jumping in. Eric's on stream. How long did it take you to do the website? Way too long. Because I couldn't find a template I wanted, so I had to modify a bunch of stuff. Okay, so the integrations here with outside sources, I need to figure out how to open this. I'm gonna run a speed test. Stand by. Let me run a speed. Something's we're not guys. I've got super fast. The computer bogging us down. I think the computer's bogging us down. And again, apologies for that. Yeah, see, like we're literally on the opposite side of the house from this Wi-Fi router. I don't have a Cat 5 line in here yet. But yeah, see, we're good on. See, yeah, we got plenty of bandwidth. Plenty of bandwidth. So I'm starting to think it's the computer bogging us down. Let me go ahead and close out Discord and Canva, and maybe that'll open up some resources. Here's my cat. So folks, this is Radar Omega. Gee, come on. Yeah, you know what, Brady, Brady, trust me, just stick around. I got 9 cats. I have Stormcat 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 out there. But this is how we're going to integrate with the Radar Omega application, right? So we've got our typical Cyclone port hardwares out here. Let's just say we do a mock deployment. That might occur. All right, this is going to be super, super simple. I'm drawing a big, scary tornado. Okay. It's a mean looking tornado. All right, so this is the tornado. It is not happy. It's going for Holly again. So what we might do here, because of limited road options, see road options. So we've got our tornado moving this way. I would suggest this intersection at 2404 and 707. I would actually suggest that for a camera deployment, 'cause it's gonna be on the south side of that. You typically want to be on the southeast side of these. And then I would probably dump a camera maybe just north of town on 83. And let's just say I had 3. I think 2 is really feasible for one car. That might even be pushing it sometimes, but let's just say that we've got a third one. I would probably hold on to that third one until the tornado gets to be. Oh, I am totally not erasing that like this. The tornado as it continues here is blue. Until the tornado, let's just say the tornado is like right here. I would maybe go deploy that third one right in the path of it and go literally just tape it to a fence post or something. Why not? So that's kind of how that would work. And then you would see over here in the toolbar, oops, not that. Cyclone port network. You'd be able to toggle cyclone port on and off. I don't know if we're gonna have a separate category or not for this, but very similar to this Abilene. The integration will look similar to this. And the reason we need Radar Omega for this is because we need an application that's got a map box layer and has the capability of displaying this type of data. This is not a Vince Welt Storm Chaser Vince Welty production here. This is a project, so we need to have resources that work for the project and not just me, if that makes sense. No, Sherry, no, absolutely not. This is just it's open. If you've got this, you're going to see it. But these streams are also going to be available, obviously, primarily on my YouTube live stream, also. Um, so this will be available on the YouTube live stream. We're going to pipe these in. Good question. Let's see here. I saw another question. Yeah, so the comment about it'd be cool to have a 360 live stream. That's been experimented with before, and it's been kind of problematic, but it's doable. In fact, there's a way that with these USB cams, they're 120 degrees. If we actually have a reference point, like for example, if I etch into the lens a little bit, and create a physical reference point between two cameras, we could offset them and possibly create 240 or nearly probably like 220-degree field of view by offsetting two of these. And then doing a little bit of processing magic in the cloud, or possibly even on the built-in GPU on the Orange Pi, and we could get somewhere. Now, what's really cool about what we're doing, folks, is this isn't just a simple live streaming device. We're building custom software for this, and you guys are going to learn how to do that. In fact, once I get the boards tomorrow, we have set a goal that by the end of this week, we need to at least have some sort of a beta testing network of these deployed. So that means that we're going to probably be streaming every single night unless a bunch of storm chasing comes up. But we're probably going to uh, actually be installing Linux on these, installing Cyclone port, and then we're going to go to the server, and I'm going to open up a brand new AWS or Amazon Web Services instance, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set up AWS to run, whether it's Nginx or a Calaba Cloud or some sort of SRT link aggregation server, which basically means that we're going to take multiple cellular modems on that device, send out the data in little pieces on different SRT streams, and I'll explain why SRT in a minute. Different SRT streams, and then the server is going to reassemble them and it's going to feed them out to the user. Jason, the fact that you're near a storm chaser during a storm doesn't always mean that it's safe. I completely agree because I absolutely am pretty crazy. Is that a flashlight emoji, Brady? Why? Why a flashlight? Oh, this signal. I get it. Yeah, I actually need to I need to work on that. I do have a way to pull the stream down now, finally. Robert, a barometer would be cool. Well, fantastic news for you, Robert, because we've got a pile of barometers and they're very easily integrated here. So, good suggestion. Why are you using a dying app? I don't know, Danny. I really don't. I really don't know what that means. So I really don't care for the drama. Storm chasers cannot control the weather. That is true, but depending on who you ask, some people do think that we um do. Bulldog OTR, will this be a fee based no, no, you guys are going to be able to see this stuff. And if you don't want to look at it in the app, you can look at it on the YouTube live stream and all that. We are going to be integrating this as a full production here. It's a bigger picture. It's not just a live stream. Dan, hang on. What software services are used in the instruments? That's a good question. What about metric or data? Yeah, so Dan, good question. I don't have a good answer. That's actually slightly outside of my wheelhouse. That would probably fall under the Don Murray enterprise. and we can have him on here too to talk about that. He knows more about this than I do, but we do have the ability to integrate this with stuff as commercial as the RM Young anemometers and those types of things, or basically as consumer level. I don't see why we couldn't integrate this with like a Tempest or some sort of like prosumer weather station like that. There's really basically, if there's any sort of API or open source documentation that tells me as a developer how to take, or us as developers to take that data and process it, um, then we can do something with it. So while like the barometer, there's small like single board barometers that actually can interface with this very well, that are cheaper. We can go higher precision, but for like the casual person, or even whether it's a storm chaser or just a weather enthusiast, there's no reason storm chasers want to go build this. They can build it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do this as a big thing. Like let's support, and like let's this can be something. um we can take that, and if somebody's on a budget, we can guide and provide guidance to purchase the items and integrate the items that might not be the best of the best, but they're good enough to get you started and get you collecting data. If somebody's got a little more money to burn, maybe we can recommend something a little bit higher end. For most people though, are going to want that kind of mid-tier. It's affordable. It's not calibrated down to the 25th decimal place, but it's damn good, and it's accurate. It's might not be scientific level instrumentation, but it's or research grade equipment, but it's good enough, and it gives you a sense of what's going on, with the weather and everything. So that's actually a really good question, and that's going to be more. That's going to be a bigger topic here in the future as we go on. Um, So future plans, what I'm going to be doing tomorrow or Tuesday, if UPS, for the love of God, please cross your fingers, please UPS and USPS show up tomorrow, then we're going to start building and coding this stuff tomorrow. Okay. Um, I'm actually going to get my 3-year-old in here because she wants to show everybody the equipment, or just kind of show you guys some pieces of the equipment because she's just going nuts over it. All right. I just texted Nikki to send in the child. Oh, the cellular modems. Yeah. So what I recommend for that, you can get these refurb on Amazon right now for like $40. The Novatel 730s. I think it's like the same as like an Inseego. Is there something in my face? The Inseego 8s or whatever. These are commonly sold with live views as well. These are really good modems for the price. Really good. There's other modems that you can get. You can get like a Netgear Nighthawk, but these overheat really bad. So I don't recommend these, even with the battery. Well, I take that back. Some other developers have told me that with the battery out, they don't have any problems. Um, but I have had some issues with battery out, and it's still overheating when it's super hot. I am so sorry that this the video is like ass. Luke, what thing on Amazon would I need the most? It's all equal right now because we have enough to build two of these things at least en route. If you're looking to support whatever you feel comfortable with, I don't care if it's a $5 component or a $500 component type thing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I have to call the child here. Yeah. Hey, you want to come here? All right. Just shut the door when you come in. All right, so kid is en route. All right, the kid is en route. Your stream is going down. I know, Carlos. I'm trying, man. Guys, like I said, you got to bear with me here a little bit. The main computer, Yeah, come on. The main computer is just it's not set up yet. Shut the door. Do you want to show everybody all the stuff? All right. Do you want to tell them about the tornado? All right, come on. All right. Well, all right. So we've got kid logic here. She's, instead of walking around and getting in front of the chair, she's just gonna like climb over the chair. All right, you got to come over here and get in the camera view. Can you tell everybody hi? She's been like itching all day to be on stream. Come here. Don't be shy. Look at the camera and say hi. All right. Tell them about the tornado. Okay. All right, I see this is going places. All right, can you hand me stuff to show them? So we're just going to run down everything. Can you hand me the camera? That's definitely not a camera. I don't want that. Just, you know what? Pick anything on that table and hand it to me. There's no wrong answer. Literally take your arm, pick something, and hand it to me. You can't go wrong. Perfect. So what we've received already, these are the smaller power banks. So this is probably going to be the first thing we start with. We've also got, the bigger power banks. I see a lot of people mentioning the power banks and stuff. And we've got several of these en route and on board already. We're going to have an entire live stream dedicated to power banks and what the appropriate power bank is. Or is going to be, trust me. Can you please hand me the box, black box? Obviously, the Raspberry Pi or Orange Pi enclosure is here. Don't have the Orange Pi, but do have several of the USB cameras. These aren't the only cameras we're going to be using, but this is just a good mid-range one. If you want to build along with us, guys, as we start, go on Amazon, go to our build list, projectweathereye.com, go to the build list, order one of everything, but only order one power bank. Just pick which one you want. Go with the cheaper one if you're wondering. Just pick a power bank, pick some stuff, get it coming. It's prime. It should show up quick. Get it showed up, and you can build along with us on the live stream. And it's gonna be pretty cool. What about ventilation for the power banks? Yep. So that is a problem, and I do know that this big chonker, this one doesn't seem to overheat. We're only going to be drawing like 3 or 4 amps tops on this. It doesn't seem to be enough because it's a 30-watt power supply or power bank. Which how many amps do you think that is? This 30 watts probably. Uh, Hold on, because I know the voltage is going to vary and stuff, but I'm not sure. Whatever. So it's very low capacity compared to the high capacity of this. Oh, this is actually a 60 watt. Um, so I have not, because I used to use this in a live streaming backpack that I had, and it never overheated. Um, but it's also bigger, so it's got more mass. So it itself is a heat sink. The smaller ones, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to stress test them, which literally is probably gonna be building this and then putting it in front of a space heater for a few hours and seeing how the stuff lasts. That's actually a good question, and that is definitely on the problem list of things to be slightly concerned about. Um, I'm hoping the cheaper, smaller one does not have an overheating thermal issue. I don't think so. Um, the bigger one for sure doesn't, but I hope the smaller one doesn't because this is much more compact and easier to build with. And honestly, in fact, folks, a guy literally could like just Velcro this to the top of this, and like you don't even need an enclosure, like in theory, as long as you got your heat sinks on here. Thank you. Just putting my stuff away. Just kind of going through here, kind of questions and answers and stuff. So yeah, we're going to tomorrow do a live stream again. So we're probably gonna be live streaming a lot this week. But again, this isn't just cameras, right? No, we're gonna be doing a lot more and kind of making a community out of this. Like I said earlier in the stream, we're missing the maker community when it comes to weather, and we need to get back into that. And I'm gonna fix this. We're probably gonna have to stop using Restream and go to StreamYard because this ain't working so hot here for us. My goodness. Oh boy. What do you think? Okay. Um, I have like all these mice on the desk. One goes to one, another goes to another. I don't know which goes to which. What? Oh, this stupid computer. Hey, you want to tell everybody, just talk to people for a second so I can look something up. All right, what are you showing them? She's showing you a junk Raspberry Pi board from a long time ago. She's 3. Your cat's outside my door. I can hear it. Please don't let the cat in. Uh, yeah, so like when it comes to data, guys, trust me, this is going to be more than just a one function live stream. Please, like all these questions in the chat are really good. Don't forget them and ask them because we're going to be doing probably spending a whole week of live streaming on data and how to get cheaper data and stuff like that. So um, it's going to be an ongoing thing. Let me see. We can talk about SRT versus RTMP and why we're going this hardware route with SRT. I'm going to try to find a graphic that I can use here. But basically, it's a different type of data. RTMP just blasts data out. SRT has a handshake method. Hold on. I'm trying to find a graphic. What are you spazzing out about? What? Well, none of those are what I want. I don't want any of those. God, who put you in charge? You're bossy. Here we go. I'm stealing this graphic. This is on a open source thing. Oh, okay. How do we do this here? Let's see. Screen share, share screen, click. So, folks, ignore kind of the use case here, but what's happening is you've got our encoder, which is our devices out here. It's going to use SRT, which is a protocol that's replaces RTMP. RTMP is a way to get video streams and data streams from the user out in the field to a server somewhere. And it's got limitations. It has no error correction. Basically, what's this graphic is garbage. I'm just taking it. It explains absolutely nothing. I don't even know why I put that up there. Essentially, what? God, could you be any quieter? The RTMP basically it's all UDP packets, so it takes your video signals broken up into pieces of data or packets or chunks. You get the chunks of data spit out and just bombarded to the server, right? Wherever that may be. Okay, bye. It just bombards the server with these packets. If you hit a dead zone or if there's a cellular connection issue, that the sender, the encoder, the thing transmitting the video stream has absolutely no way to know that those signals or those packets or pieces of data were not received by the server. So that's going to basically give you a dead zone, a dropout, pixelation, audio desync. With RTMP, it's really, really common to get audio desync, which is a pain in the ass because once it gets desynced, it doesn't always pick back up, and sometimes you have to like manually drop the stream. It's not good. It's not good. And it doesn't always like to convert to HLS because converting to HLS format like has to do something with having an audio carrier, whatever. SRT is basically there's a caller and a receiver or a transmitter and a receiver. Let's say I'm using my phone to live stream and it's using SRT. Well, that SRT is basically handshaking with the server. And it sends a piece of data, it sends a piece of data, it sends some more data, and then the server sends back, okay, it says, hey, yes, I copied all of the data from packets 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I'm missing data from packet 6, but I got 7, 8, 9, and 10. As long as the sending unit receives that acknowledgement back, that ACK or the acknowledgement back, then it knows to resend packet number 6. This all happens in less than a second. It happens so fast that you can, if it missed that, it can resend it along with the current bowl of or bucket of data, it can add that missing data into the bucket and send it again. And then it can be received, and then it's the person watching the stream doesn't even know that it ever happened. There is typically a 2000 millisecond latency or a buffer, so a 2 second buffer with SRT. So you basically have 2 seconds to work out any sort of, yeah, welcome back. 2 seconds to work out any of those hiccups back and forth. And that's why SRT is better than RTMP, because you have that little bit of error correction, and that really helps. When you're picket fencing with signal, you've got signal from a cell phone tower over here, and you've got tree. Imagine trees are my fingers that signal as you're driving a vehicle or as trees are blowing around. That signal almost picket fences, through the gaps in the picket fence, if you want to imagine it like that. And you can have these signal um, quality and strength issues, which makes RTMP pretty much crap in the field, in my opinion, unless you're on a stable connection. Stable connection, yeah, okay, fine. But that's why we're using SRT. There's a step on top of that called link aggregation. So SRT LA, or SRT link aggregation, allows us to. Great. Hey, hold on a second. Could you do me a huge favor? Could you go have mommy help you get me something to drink? For me, not for you. Great, thanks. I really appreciate it. I love you. See, this does help. Um, but basically, the link aggregation splits up over different connections. So it could be two cellular connections, or a cellular and Wi-Fi, cellular and Starlink. You can have a bunch of different connections going into this encoder, and it basically takes pieces. There's an algorithm. Cool. So you can take multiple pieces of the data and send it through different paths. And if let's say your AT&T connection drops out and the Verizon connection is good enough, well, then the algorithm's going to say, hey, stop sending data over here, push it through Verizon. So it gives you redundancy and bonding, and it's really, really good. So we can run an AT&T, a Verizon, or an AT&T and a T-Mobile, whatever card in these, and basically have a better chance at receiving signal using link aggregation. Where is my drink? Thanks. Oh, great. There's the cat. Thanks. This is definitely not what I wanted, but you can leave the cat. They're gonna want to see him. Yeah. Birth control, everybody. If you're thinking about kids, this is what you're gonna get. It's great. I mean, she's cute and she's really sweet, but um, there are times where it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. She's actually a really sweet kid. I give her a hard time about this stuff because she kind of annoys the shit out of me. Um, uh, she's she's definitely my kid. She's definitely picked up on my habits, and definitely has my mouth, which I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised we haven't heard the F bomb out of this lately. I'm winning Parent of the Year award today, and she's got her. Yep, that's the cellular modem. We've got Pube the cat over here, knocking all my stuff off the build table, which we'll visit later on when we build stuff. But she will not be joining every live stream. She's just, because this is all new to her. She's just like super excited. She's like, "Oh my god, I gotta see what's going on in here." So honestly, folks, the oh, nice burner account. Oh yeah, geez, really? Okay, that's actually funny. Yeah, nice burner account, zero. Jesus Christ, you totally gave it away. I actually did have pink eye the other day. I think it was pink eye. I'm just getting over it. I'm actually surprised that's not the name of the burner account. That was actually funny. But she's just excited, and the only way to get her to chill out with this stuff is just to be like, "Hey, come look at this and be part of it for a day." She won't give a crap about this tomorrow. So that's it. Questions. Yeah, she likes Bluey. I like Bluey too. I mean, Bluey's cute. It's like not annoying. And it's kind of smart ass too. Like, I like it. So we'll roll with the chat here for the next 5 minutes and see what we got. That's kind of where I'm at. Somebody sent something in on PayPal, but I can't see the whole notification right now. Whoever that was, appreciate it. I will check all that. Oh god, now there's another cat outside my door. Wow, this is just fantastic. God, why is the stream quality? It's got to be this computer. It's this computer, 100%. It's not the connection. We just ran a speed test. Where are you going? All right, here comes Pube the cat. So here he comes. The cat will not be part of the live stream either. You got to remember too. This is something new for me. Setting up this office and everything. I actually wanted to do this for like 2 years. I just finally got my ass around to doing it. Oh, great! Here comes the cat. Um, yep. And it's just there's little growing pains here and there. I don't have the studio computer set up. Now the cats are playing on the floor. It's just great. And she's got to get used to this as well. So this, this won't be a problem. It's like I was talking to Nikki. I'm like, we just need to let her in here and just let her see this so that she just stops because she loses interest so much. Like even after this morning, she's lost so much interest. So we can actually get stuff done. Um, how would one get use of a server, and how would the video from there get back to me or others? Well, you could run something in like Amazon Web Services, AWS, pretty cheap, or you could run a Raspberry Pi will run an RTMP server, an Nginx server at home. But I would really strongly suggest like an Orange Pi, something with a GPU, so that you can like transcode that stream into something like HLC or HLS, something that you can actually play. Oh my God, they're beating the crap out of each other. I gotta shave my face. Holy crap! It's something into something you play with like VLC or whatever. So we'll go over that, and please don't forget that question because that's going to make a lot of sense here in the next few days when we do our software stuff. What the hell are you doing over there? Quit playing with the doorstop. Um, but one of these would run a server at home. We just need stable internet and everything. Yeah, we have a snake. Yeah, I got two cats in here. We got Pickles in here too, and he's just tweaking out over there. I don't know what his problem is. All right, what are you doing right now? Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you go be weird in some other room in this house? That's apparently not. Yeah, we have 9 cats, folks. There's like 300 people watching you right now. That's way higher than you can count. How high can you count? Like, how high can you count? 5? Yeah, yeah, count to like 5. So 2. Yeah, there's 2 cats in here. Great. Glad we're on the same page, dude. It's a Common Core math for you. So that's it, basically. Just kind of hanging out here now. Yeah, it should be a fun project. Oh my God, we are not starting this. Hey, hey, hey. You be quiet for like 2 more minutes and then you can have some ice cream or something, okay? Get out from under my desk. You're gonna hit your head on something and then you're gonna cry about it the rest of the night. I guarantee it. Dan. Okay, Dan totally knows what he's talking about. This must be a tech nerd here. You are definitely one of us. Is there tech infrastructure in mind, like GCP? I'm not sure. What is GCP? I know AWS and Azure to handle scaling and centralization, or is it too early to? Yeah, so we do have scalable AWS instances. Yes. Okay, hush with the cat for a minute. I've never done anything with Azure or I'm not. What is GCP? What is GCP? But we do have scalable AWS instances for what we're doing for this. For like what the end user might want to do, that's going to kind of be on their own to do. But we're going to, hey, hey, enough. We're going to guide, sit up here and hold this and show everybody this. But we're going to guide them on how to set that up on their own. So, hey, dude, get up here and play with this thing. Here, I got this. Come here, cat. Go out there, find mom, and find me another cat and bring me another cat, okay? S- Just got to give it another job. Oh, Google Cloud? Okay. You just got to, excuse me, give the kid another job from time to time. Yeah, I'm excited for this, folks. Like, I don't know. I like to build stuff, okay? And I don't want this to necessarily become, the this. Oh, great! Hey, look, Paul's in here now. Paul the cat. Just be quiet for a minute while so I can wrap this up. You got it? Great. Um, the point is not to make this, hey, I want to be a storm chaser. Come set my stuff up. It's no, hey, I'm a weather enthusiast. You could be a storm chaser. Like, let's build something together. Uh, and kind of make a community out of it. Like I said, it's like the maker community. There used to be that Make magazine. You guys remember that? Like that stuff. There's used to be this big community where you would like make stuff, and you'd go on GitHub or you'd go on some other forum and you'd talk about it, and like that just doesn't exist in this realm. And oh, for fuck's sakes, bring me the snake, dude. It's fine. It's not actually a snake. All right, can you get this thing off of me or shut the door so we don't have to listen to how you're watching out there? All right, I don't know what to do with this thing on me now. Hey, Lily, what the hell do I do with this thing? Oh my God, there's another cat in here now. You would die if you went into my house. You're allergic to cats. I am convinced I'm also allergic to cats. I still don't know what to do with this thing. I don't want to pick it up. I don't want to touch it, etc. Avon, Avon, you sent a super chat, but I missed. Ooh, I almost knocked that drink off. Hold on. What'd your super chat say? Hey, don't knock the snake off, okay? Thank you for walking around through this. And yeah, honestly, yeah, man. Like, I mean, you can build along with this stuff, for sure. I mean, I know you get out and about too, so like some of the stuff might be able to be applied in other ways for you too, for however you want to chase. So, hey, Nikki, this thing is seriously annoying me to the point where I'm about to have a mental breakdown. Can you get it the hell off of me? Just come get it. I'm not getting up with this thing. I don't want to risk dropping it. I don't want it to like bite me. I don't want to get like chlamydia from it. I don't want to die or go to the hospital. Thank you. You can take the child too. I don't know what she's got going on. I don't know if she's staying great. So that's it, folks. Avon. Okay, so do you already have a design for some sort of like ground probe thing? Because if you do, um, I got to get this Discord community set up for this. But yeah, so like you could essentially like let's say so we're gonna use Avon as an example, right? So like let's say let's just say hypothetically he's already got a design and already has batteries. Well, you don't have to use this battery, right? Maybe just wants to integrate the streaming and the Pi board and all this other stuff. Like, you guys don't have to build this stuff exactly how I say. It's meant to basically give you guys something to go off of, if that makes sense. So I think that's really cool. And there's a lot of people that kind of make fun of the entire like amateur weather enthusiast crowd where people will make like a tornado probe and a lot of folks are like, oh, that's pointless. Well, not really, because if we stop innovating and stop building new things, then that's when we stop being a great society. And I think it's important that we continue to try to achieve this stuff. And I've been passionate about this for a long time. I had a really long talk on kind of a personal level the other night with somebody that really pushed me in this direction, and I'm really glad that um, I did go decide to go down this kind of like concept. Um, because I feel like this is something that I've done this. I've been building stuff and doing crazy stuff like this for a long time, but I've never publicized it or talked about it, and it's really taken its toll on me because it's almost depressing. Because it's just like, you do all this cool stuff. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, who are you gonna show? You can have friends and show your friends and stuff, but like if they don't have an interest in it or they don't understand what the hell you're talking about, like who gives a rat's ass? Like if my buddy, I don't know, plays golf and is telling me about this new golf club he got, I don't care about golf. So like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. So Amazon, Nance, projectweathereye.com, and then click on, there's either if you want to buy stuff to send to the project, the Amazon list is on the homepage, but if you just want the build list, like the Excel spreadsheet for the stuff to get for yourself, that's that's at the top. Okay, that's at the top. Like you'll see it if you go to the website. It'll make sense. Honestly, Avon, I would go after it. I mean, if it's something you think you can pull off, more power to you. Seriously. A daddy, a daddy. Yeah, and Lily, and you know what? Lily should be quiet. But seriously, and if you want to springboard kind of off what we're doing, you're welcome to. You might, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think the kind of like loose collaboration and like I don't really see this as like an open source project. It's more of like a semi open source project. I think projects like this are good. I really do. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Seriously, tell everybody what your problem is. Tell everybody what your problem is. If you look up here, they can see you. Why are you making weird noises? All right, I want you to tell before we go. Tell everybody something. I don't care what it is. Just tell them something. Don't you dare say a naughty word either, because there's people that will definitely be offended while it comes out of my mouth. But typically, she'll drop a very naughty word here because she heard me say it once or multiple times, and every time she says it, I laugh at it. Um, and that's the problem is because I laugh at it. But she's actually been pretty good and been minding her P's and Q's tonight. I'm actually really impressed. Um, she's gonna flip that chair over. I'm so glad this thing's not in diapers anymore. Which Storm Cat is Lily's favorite? Brady, I don't know. I think it's all of them at this point. I really do. Can I help you? What? Got it. Thanks. Great. This is also why she's not allowed in here because she will take my stuff and like if I've got a hot soldering iron or something, she's totally gonna cook her hand. I hear footsteps approaching the door. Yeah, this definitely turned into show and tell, didn't it? How much money did you invest into it? Good question, Jamie. I don't know. So it's just this is kind of a conglomerate of stuff that I've been kind of working on for a long time. So like the existing server infrastructure, like that's already in place. So I can't really earmark anything on this right now, you know, financial wise, because we kind of just got started with this. All right, well we just got rid of two cats. So hey, shut that door. Okay, that's fine. Just leave it wide open totally. That's cool. Oh God, we're encouraging her to come back in. Oh Jesus God, here comes another cat. All right, you born in a freaking barn? Shut the door. Jesus Christ, thank you. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go buy a better computer in the morning. This computer is ass. I think what's happening is it's thermal throttling, and I don't think it's actually a bandwidth problem. I think it's actually the computer is just dumping the resolution of everything it's doing. I hope there's not a cat fight, but there I can hear him whacking up against the side of the door out there. We do have a Discord server, seethestorm.net. Go visit there. All right. Well, now that the stream's glitching and stuff, so. You talk to your 3-year-old like that? By God, I sure do. Why? What'd I do wrong? Sure do. Sure do all the time. I figured too, there must be CPU is clocked out of throttling. What CPU? Yeah, Brady, I'm glad your head got fixed. That's kind of. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. I mean, okay, it's funny. Like I laughed, but like I didn't. It's not funny that you got hurt. It's funny that you fell out of it. I hope that makes sense. I figured. I don't know, man. You got to watch those stairs. They'll come out and get you. Yeah, there will not be an additional child. No, definitely not. So I'm gonna figure out what's going on with this, guys. I decided balls to the walls. I'm done pissing around. We're getting the M4 Max, MacBook Pro M4 Max, and that's what we're gonna do. Like we talked about earlier, screw it. We're just gonna get it. So hey, go get your mom, would you? Cool, thanks. See, she pushes her chair in. She's polite most of the time. Thank you for being polite. She is really cute. She's a good kid though most of the time. She's freaking crazy. But yeah, and I know like I know it probably does make some of the audience go like, "What the hell kind of rinky-dink operation is this? You got a 3-year-old explaining stuff." Well, this isn't normal, folks. The only way to get her to calm down about this is to let her be involved in it. The next live stream I do, she won't care. It's because I've remodeled this entire room, right? Basically, and reset it up. So I have to fix this backdrop stuff. But once she just wants to see what it's about, the newness wears off and she'll be fine. Why are you creeping in here? Oh my God. Bring me more stuff. Great. That's not your mom. That is not your mom. That is Stitch. Well, Stitch just took a nosedive there on the chair. Oh yeah, this is Stitch. This is actually a cute movie. I can tolerate this movie. It's cute. There you go. Ooh, this smells really good. That smells really good. I got something better than a green screen. We're just gonna stick a bunch of TVs here and make it look like freaking NASA. Heck yeah. What what are you digging out of your Stitch backpack and why are you putting it on my floor? If you throw something on my floor, you're gonna pick it up like 10 times. Oh, that's what smells good? Okay, well put it back in there. Quit being weird. God dang. Yeah, The Inside Out is a cute movie. Ryan Scholl's in here. Where's Ryan Scholl at? I didn't see him come across. Weird. I don't even want to know what she's doing. All right, I think I'll go ahead and shut the live stream down. I don't know what time. Oh, all right, well, I hope you had a good potty break, Ryan. Glad you found your wallet. I think I am gonna take a. I'm gonna schedule a live stream for tomorrow evening. And we're probably gonna be building, and even if we're not physically building, we're probably gonna be setting up software because this is all Linux. And um, if you've never used Linux, then it's a little bit of a learning curve because a lot of it's command line based. But it's really not that hard. I'm not a programmer or anything by any means, and I was able to figure it out. So, Darla, nice to see you. Kim's in the God dang Kim, I haven't seen. No, I have seen you in a chat for a while. Wait, where are you going? Where are you going? What? I don't know what she's saying. Sometimes it sounds like she just had a stroke. It sounds like a person having a stroke the way she's. Do you have a desktop you'll be doing this on? No, good question. So these boards, when you set them up, the Orange Pi 5 does not have Wi-Fi built in. So you have to either set it up how you want it. You can't really set this up headless, right? Meaning without a monitor. So you can set up like a Raspberry Pi. You can plug it into a computer and program the SD card to like connect to a Wi-Fi network. You can get the IP address, and then you can SSH through like the Mac OS terminal or PuTTY or whatever, and you can SSH and give it commands. The Pi, you either need to plug it into Ethernet and like SSH into it that way, or it's just easier to plug a computer monitor into it, and then a wired keyboard and mouse. Put the software on the disk, put it in there, and then just manually set it up that way. So that's how we're going to do that. And we'll plug it into the monitor, and then we'll just have to turn the camera on, videotape the monitor, and we'll set the stuff up with a keyboard and mouse on the devices. I've got a little power station right behind here that's got all sorts of USB plugs and every type of power we might need. So that'll work out. That'll work out really well for setting these up. Um, my main computer right now is a MacBook Air, the M2, but it's the 16 gig version, 16 gig RAM version. But where are you going? Okay, I don't know what you're saying, but bye. Um, they it thermal throttles a little bit, so I'm not gonna run like a Mac Studio or a desktop because I don't want two machines. Okay, bye. Thanks. Yeah, great. Um, because when I go to a hotel, I still need to stream from this. You know what I'm saying? So we're probably just going to go with a MacBook Pro 14-inch M4 Max, 24 gigs RAM, 512 SSD, the 14 core thing, all that. And then basically I have a docking station, which I can't show you right now, but I'll show you tomorrow. I have a docking station to put the laptop on it. I have the laptop screen, I've got my keyboard, and then I've got my mouse. And then I've got the main monitor, I've got a secondary monitor, and then I've got an iPad over here for chat. And it actually works out really well for what we're doing. You do pretty much everything on this. I like the MacBook Air. Honestly, guys, it's been a fantastic. It's great. It's portable. It's great. It's just the second you plug an external monitor into it, like I'm doing now, it's just too much for it. It's just too much. If it wasn't, if I unplug this monitor right now, it would be just fine. But I think I'm out of here, folks. What's wrong? Huh? Come here and tell me what's wrong. What's wrong? Shut the door. What's wrong? You want apple juice? Well, where's mom? Is she gonna get you some apple juice? Okay. So what's the problem? Well, I'm sure she's hurrying as fast as she can. Alrighty, bye. She wants apple juice, and I guess mom's not getting it fast enough. Yep. Yeah, the main reason I run Mac is just because of the ecosystem. I would prefer to run like a high-end gaming PC, but it just doesn't work when everything you have is Apple and everything is revolving around it as it is, kind of thing. But yep, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow. See more watching the recording. I think you could have different parts lists for price tiers. Yeah, no, you're right, and that's what we're gonna do. So, but so for example, this kind of rapid deployment build, mid-grade hardware. But yeah, we are, people. This is basically made so that all the software is very agnostic on what you can put into it. If you want to go put a better hell, if you want to go put a 4K camcorder on this damn thing, you could do that. So yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's what this is going to evolve into, where it's like, if you want to skimp on one thing to get a better, if you want to skimp on component A so you can afford a better component B, you'll be able to do that. So yeah, that's actually really good input on that. So I really like the like feedback like that, because it means that we're thinking kind of alike here, and we're thinking down the right path here. So I think I'm out of here. I'll have a live stream probably like between maybe we'll start at like maybe 6:30 Central. We'll start a little earlier. It's nice to see so many regulars on here. You're not seeing the modem on the build list? You're not? Hold up. If you're looking on the Amazon list, like the Amazon wish list, that's probably because we put in a quantity that we need, and we were probably they've probably all been purchased. Like we don't need any more right now, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Why? It's doing that thing again where I can't where I can't click on anything. Freaking annoying. I guess I can't show you. Why? Why do you do this to me, you damn thing? Let's try sharing a window. No, that's not gonna work. But anyway, if you go to projectweathereye.com, if you're looking for like if you want to buy and build for yourself, you just go up to the top of the page where it says parts list. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But yeah, these are good quality modems, and if you're clicking on it and they're not available, I know there was a limited quantity. I'll check all the lists and make sure they're updated, but this is what we recommend right now, just for the price and availability and what it does. Intel Alpha, that's a good username. Um, I don't really have an answer for that because I don't get on social. Well, my job is social media. I don't really care what. I'm assuming it's Twitter. I don't really care what people say on Twitter anymore, and I don't think anybody that matters does. You know what I mean? And I know you probably don't either. Like, it's a genuine question, right? But I don't think anybody else like. I don't think any of us care, kind of thing. I don't care what people are doing on Twitter. I mean, you have a right to ask. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that question. I'm just saying, like, Twitter is so full of hate anymore, and so is the internet in general. And it's just like, honestly, we've all got better stuff to do. Assumptions on the internet? Yeah, no kidding. Ain't that something? Um, my only comment on this is I believe a lot of this questioning and drama you may be referring to, I believe was caused by people that weren't even part of this Why is it doing that? Why did I just get these what was that all about? What the hell was that? I did not do that. I don't know what that is. But I think what happens is when somebody makes a post about something, other people see it as a way to make it all about them, even though they don't even have any associations with the people who made the post, and then they just make drama about it. You see this in politics all the time. You know, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi gets a cup of coffee, and then it's, oh, look at me, oh, I told you, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. I honestly, does anybody know what the balloons is for? I honest to God don't know why Restream does that. Seriously, I have no idea. I don't know if that's like we hit a certain subscribe. Do we cross the subscriber mark or something? Because I don't even think this knows how many subscribers we have. I don't think that's part of the API. I don't even know. All right, subscribe on your way out. Follow. Make sure you go follow our new Twitter account at STS WeatherEye. No, it is not my birthday. Definitely not. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you again. I'm gonna fix these quality issues and we'll get it figured out. Um, have a good one. See you later. See you tomorrow. And I'll pass that along to Dan. Have a good one. That was actually funny.